Have you ever thought about starting to crochet? Or maybe you need a new hobby? Well, I'm here to convince you with my 7 reasons why you should start crocheting. My first reason is pretty strong in my opinion. If you engage in a hobby, you will live longer. Okay, that's a random statement to make, but there's research backing this up that engaging in a hobby reduces mortality. So you might live longer if you start engaging in crocheting. There's also research showing that doing these repetitive movements with your hands, that will increase your mental health. And you will do that by reducing the stress levels, reduce anxiety. So basically, crocheting will make you live longer, reduce your stress and your anxiety. I mean, I think that's a pretty convincing first one. But there's more. There's even more. So talking about slow hobbies, at least I can easily just sit on my phone for hours and hours and hours, and I know a lot of people have like goal of reducing their screen time. Firstly, I feel like crocheting is a perfect supplement for screen time. I guess pretty much any hobby would be, but crocheting is like the phone, very easy to just pick up, especially if you've already started a project. So I guess any hobby would reduce your screen time since you have something to engage in that isn't your phone. But a perk with crocheting and also knitting, I guess, is that I know some of you out there will scroll on your phone while watching TV, while you watch a movie, or while you watch a series, and that doesn't really make you present watching whatever you're watching. And maybe you have someone you're watching with that is disturbed by this behavior. Well, this is the solution to that, because if you feel like you need to do something while you watch TV because maybe you get a little bit restless when you're watching TV, well, crocheting and some type of handwork is something you can do while you're watching TV and still be able to focus on what's going on the TV, especially if you're making something easy and something where you just have to do like the same thing over and over again, which a lot of my projects usually are, because I just improvise from my head and then you don't have to like count or anything. So if you're a restless soul like me and need something to do while you're watching TV, or even while you're listening to an audiobook, or yeah, it could be whatever, watching YouTube, maybe you're crocheting right now watching this video. Okay, so the third reason is one of my favorites because this is a cool one. Okay, so there is no machine that can crochet out there. So crochet garments are very valuable pieces. They're always handmade. And that's a cool one because like if you're wearing something crochet, it's gonna be quite obvious that it's handmade. I guess everyone doesn't know about this crocheting machine thing, but anyway, because you know, knitting, there is knitting machines, so it's still very impressive to have knitted something. It's just that when you have crocheted something, it's guaranteed that it's handmade, and yeah, I don't know. I think that makes it cool to crochet. So there's no better feeling when someone compliments your outfit or what you're wearing or something you have in your home or whatever, and they ask you, well, where did you get that? And you can say, oh, well, actually, I made it. It's a satisfying phrase to say. I have this one specific situation where I crocheted a gown and it took me forever to crochet this thing. So it was when I was studying, so I sat like at every lecture just crocheting. Well, it must have taken me like, I don't even know, could it be 50 hours. No, I don't know. I feel like it was more. But I sat like crocheting at least 5 hours per day, and it took me months. So I crocheted for a specific situation where I went to this ball or like banquet or something. And there were a lot of people that complimented my dress at this occasion, and it just felt so special because I had invested so much of my time in this garment, and also just like I have come up with this idea, I have improvised the whole dress, and yeah, I just felt so proud of myself when they complimented my dress and I could say, well, thank you, I made it. And yeah, I guess a lot of people saw that I had made it myself as well, because people were like, oh my god, have you made that one? And I was like, yeah, I made it. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I guess it is. I took it as a compliment. My next reason is a little similar, and that is that you can be your own fashion designer. So you can just do fully customizable garments. So you can get very creative with these things. So if you have an idea of something you want to wear, you can just make it. And yeah, you can be your own fashion designer. How cool is that? And you can be very original and yeah, create your own specific style based on what you want to wear. Also, it's more environmental friendly with crocheted clothes, especially if you use yarn from thrift stores. And also I've seen a lot of people, I've never done that myself, but I've seen a lot of people like using sweaters and just like making yarn balls out of it, which is really cool. But still, you know, it's ethically made, the garment. The yarn, you're gonna have to be a little bit more conscious about that, but yeah, isn't that a great one? The next reason is that you get this sense of accomplishment, which is firstly a very nice feeling, and also I feel maybe that's a feeling we need more now. When we have these screens which are making us feel lazy, just laying on the couch, but you can now, if you crochet, you can still lay on the couch and chill, watch TV, and still get this feeling of accomplishment. Isn't that like hacking your brain in some way? Like you're laying there on the couch being lazy, but you're just crocheting, and then you feel like, wow, I've done something with my life. Not just, oh, I've just laid here all day and I feel useless. I mean, if you just pop in some crocheting there, you feel worthy again. No, but I mean, you get this sense of accomplishment, which is a nice feeling. Okay, the last reason in this video, not the last reason on earth, is that crocheted things are the perfect gift. And I feel like it's the perfect gift for a lot of reasons. So firstly, if you crochet something to someone, it's always gonna have like a personal touch. You know, like the best gifts are thought through and just personal. And if you have made something yourself with your hands, it's always going to give this personal feeling like, wow, someone made this for me. Like, yeah, it's a good gift. But also it could just help you with like gift ideas, because, well, it can be hard to come up with gifts for people. And if you crochet, maybe you don't have as high of expectations on you, like it should be like this massive thing, because like you made this, it's valuable because of that. I think crocheted gifts are the best gifts, and I have crocheted a lot of gifts in my crocheting years, and I think one gift that is always handy for like pretty much anyone would be like kitchen stuff. So like a pot coaster or pot holder or something like that. I've made a lot of those, and that's also like a perfect beginner project. So if you have never crocheted, that's perfect start to just make something like a pot coaster, and that will also make the perfect gift. So that's a win-win situation. right? Also, something I've made a lot is like a hanging flower pot, which is easy to make, and it's also fun because you can just buy a flower that you can put in there, and then you can give like a flower, but it's more personal because you've made like this crocheted flower pot as well. You can also make like these super easy projects like buying a book and crocheting a bookmark or doing a headband. So I hope this video convinced you to start crocheting, and if so, I have some very beginner friendly tutorials you can check out. And also, YouTube is your friend because there's so much material on how to start crocheting and so on. So, well, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!